When it comes to Toshi, am I still holding? The answer is yes, even though nothing I say is financial advice. Now, some people may be thinking, okay, why? Well, it's because I still like what I'm seeing when it comes to the base network. And after all, Toshi is on the base network because if we take a look at it, Toshi, sure, it's not really reinventing the wheel by any means, but at the same time, just being on base, that right there is something that I do like because let's not forget, base is looking into the idea of a token, right? Which, as of right now, we don't have the quote unquote base token. But if let's say it does happen, Toshi, I think could indirectly gain some attention from that. Who knows? Hypothetically, maybe. It wouldn't surprise me though if that did happen because if I take a look at it, if base were to do that, it would be a pretty monumental occasion actually because, for so long, we just don't see it, right? We don't have it. So this right here, I think could really help it maybe gain more attention, I would say. However, when will they be exactly doing that? I mean, it's very ambiguous just from my kind of understanding. They're exploring it, but do I know the exact moment? Absolutely not. But I feel like something like that kind of showcases that maybe the better days could be ahead in terms of the hypothetical attention because had base already had a token right now, maybe then it will be a little bit different, right? Because I'm assuming that if it had a token right now, the price probably wouldn't be doing the best in terms of kind of what it would have not too long ago. Like, for instance, we see a lot of things having a pullback, like many layer twos, which the base network is, but I'm saying other layer twos out there, take a look at Arbitrum, take a look at Optimism, take a look at how well they're doing, you know? Not to say in terms of statistics, but take a look at, for instance, the price of OP or the price of ARB, which is Arbitrum's native token, for instance, right? It's not doing the best. So I think the base token would have experienced that actually to a certain extent if it was around right now. But then because it just doesn't exist currently, if let's say there was one, and let's say the timing for whatever reason was kind of close to near an altcoin season, or let's say it was during one, it would be a totally different case, and that could maybe, I think, play into something like Toshi, which is, again, on the base network. Not to say that it's the only one that's going to really experience kind of that sort of indirect attention. Like, I also feel like maybe some other projects too on the base network could experience that. But then at the same time, Toshi, I think arguably, even despite, by the way, having a market cap currently that is around that $200 million range, it's actually, I think, still top three in terms of popularity on the base network, just because there really isn't that many popular projects on base. That's the way to take a look at it. And I think it's kind of a testament to just how well Toshi has done overall, despite the pullback, but at the same time, it also kind of showcases just how early the base network still is, I think, in the grand scheme of things, just because it hasn't been around for that long. And if I take a look at it as well, what I am still excited about is that I have not seen, right, projects on the base network, generally speaking, experience a full on altcoin season. I haven't seen that. Like, I haven't seen, for instance, Brett experience that. I haven't seen Toshi experience that. I haven't seen Aerodrome. I haven't seen that. So when I take a look at something like this is why I'm still holding, right? I just don't want to give up because I feel like the base network, again, it's not really reinventing the wheel, much like Toshi. I mean, it's just a layer two after all when it comes to base, but just because it's Coinbase's layer two and then Coinbase is on the S&P 500. So then it's a bit of a different vibe. That's the way to take a look at it. But again, when it comes to base, I don't think it is the most revolutionary layer 2 of all time, personally in my perspective, but I still like it nonetheless, just because, again, of that kind of, Coinbase aspect, I would say. However, when I take a look at something like Toshi, people like to say, okay, no one's really going to care about this. And, 100%, I can't say that it will or will not, because the only thing I can do is just control myself. But again, when I take a look at something like the base network and kind of the relative attention it had, even without altcoin season, I take a look at what Toshi was able to do during this cycle, even without altcoin season. I would be very surprised if, let's say, maybe the attention was kind of bad. It would actually kind of surprise me if, let's say, there was even if an altcoin season. So yeah, I'm still looking at this. I'm still holding. I haven't given up. And literally what I do is I dollar cost average into the projects that I'm a fan of. Now, people may be thinking, okay, what do you mean by that? Even though I'm not telling them to do anything, and this is just, again, personally what I'm doing, I just dollar cost average into my favorite projects once a month, and that's it. So if let's say it's a year, it's 12 times, 2 years, 24 times, 3 years, 36 times, and so on, right? Beyond that, I don't do anything. Like, I'm not trying to find the perfect moment to do this or do that. No. Literally, just dollar cost averaging, holding, and just waiting. So, for instance, right, if we take a look at it just historically, like for instance, we're in November as of right now. But then in October, I dollar cost average, which currently, that moment when I dollar cost average in October, of course, it's higher than right now. But I also dollar cost average back in 2024. At one point, Toshi went to a market cap of nearly $500 million. And that was in January. But then January had a really good rally at that point, and still I was dollar cost averaging into that. And then in February, in March, April, May. So again, that's what I did. Now, why haven't I exited? Because I just felt like I haven't seen an altcoin season. That's the way I view it. And I'm not telling you to do anything, by the way, but this is just my perspective. I still like Toshi overall. And it's like kind of like this, right? If I have conviction in a project and if I actually believe in it, and if I actually like the kind of fundamentals surrounding it, it would be hard for me to give up. Now, if I actually didn't like it, then it would be easy for me to give up, but this one I actually like. This is my perspective. Now, I'm not telling you to do anything because, of course, people may like different projects, right? It's not up to me. Personally, I'm just only doing things that, I find I'm a fan of when it comes to the project. That's about it. But in the meantime, again, I can't do anything about Toshi. Like, I can't demand it to do this or do that. Like, let's say 2 cents. It's currently around a 35x from here. Like, the market cap at that point, considering current circulating supply, would be around $8.5 billion. Like, I can't control that. Like, I can't demand the market to do this or do that. The only thing I can do is control myself, because even if I pulled up a price chart and I started drawing triangles or something like that, the market's going to care about that a total of 0%. Like, it's literally not going to care about that. I could draw all I want on a price chart, but if the market wants to do its thing, it's going to do its thing. If it doesn't want to, it's not. So I can't control that. The only thing I can do is take a look at the amount of holders. I take a look at, let's say, the project's fundamentals, kind of the vibe overall when it comes to it. And if I like it, then I dollar cost average into it. If I don't, then I won't dollar cost average into it. It's pretty simple, I think, personally for me. Again, I'm not telling you to do anything, but that's just what I'm doing. I haven't given up when it comes to Toshi just because I feel like things could be different. Who knows, maybe moving forward. It doesn't mean it will, but if I take a look at, let's say, Toshi back in 2024 or so, last year, right? For quite a while, it wasn't really doing much. Like, let's say, when we take a look at the initial pump that we saw when it comes to Toshi, I would say near the end of 2023, and then it kind of stagnated for quite a while. And the market cap was kind of ranging. At times, it was around 70 million, then it was like even at one point around 30 million, and then it was just kind of not doing much. And then suddenly, in January of actually this year, right, so it's not even a year ago, we saw the market cap just reach nearly $500 million. Like, sometimes things can just not do anything for quite a while, and then suddenly it does something. And it's not like it took, 5 years or something. I mean, the kind of movement from around that $50 million market cap range to nearly $500 million was just in the month of January, really, if we think about it, right? Kind of around that time frame. Sometimes during this space, if things want to move, they kind of move pretty quick. Now, it can also be in a non-positive direction too. Like, it can also be in a downwards direction, like what we saw in the pullback from then. But when we take a look at the recovery ever since that pullback, it's actually been not so bad, even though it hasn't had that speed, right? It hasn't had that kind of momentum like what we saw back in January. But still, it's been a pretty steady recovery now with a pullback. But who knows? Again, the way to take a look at it is that things can be different. And that all happened, I think, even without altcoin season, which is why I haven't given up. Again, things may look a certain way right now, but it could maybe be different moving forward. Only time will tell, which is why I haven't given up. I'm just staying patient, holding, dollar cost averaging, and that's pretty much about it. And feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I hope y'all have a nice day. I want to say thank you for watching. It's Billy the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.